Hey y'all, Nathan here. Today we're going to go over the squat. Squat's something that we all do in our everyday life, and it's really one of the fundamental movements that when you specifically exercise, you want to be able to do it properly and correctly to get the best out of it and to prevent injury. So there are 7 real fundamental aspects of the squat. You've got the proud chest. You've got the neutral spine, so that's just keeping your spine straight. You've got the pelvic tilt. When you begin your squat, you push your pelvis out. You've got your knee and your feet position. This can vary, but right now we're going to go over the standard shoulder width, maybe a little more than shoulder width. Feet pointed out about 30 degrees, 15 to 30 degrees. You got your weight placement, so where the weight is on the downward and upward movement. The pelvic thrust, which is just the completion, the opposite of the pelvic tilt when you come up from the exercise, and then your breathing. So first thing, in almost every exercise, especially in the squat, you want a proud chest. So what that means is that when you're performing the exercise, you want to think about your shoulders being down and back. So it prevents the spine from rounding at the top, which could cause injury if you add weight or if you do it improperly for long enough. So this is, again, down and back, just like this. So proud chest is kind of how I refer to this. Next is the neutral spine. So during the movement, you don't want to be looking down during the squat, and you also don't want to be looking up during the squat. What you want is that nice neutral spine. So if your chest tilts forward a little bit, it's okay if your head goes down, but really a good way to think about it is to just look straight forward the entire time. So down and up, or down and up. Okay. Knee and feet position. So this is a big thing, especially during the movement, and this really corresponds a lot to weight placement. But you want your feet for this exercise right now to be about maybe a little more than shoulder width apart, and you want your feet to be pointed out a little bit. So not straight, not like you're standing on railroad tracks, just angled out a little bit. Weight placement is really the key aspect here. So what I want you to look at here is where my shoulders are in relation to my feet. So when I go down, keeping that proud chest, boom. All right, so watch my knees, watch my hips. So I'm doing the pelvic tilt down, so my weight moves back a little bit. Look at the knees, the feet. See, I'm able to wiggle my toes a little bit. So that means I'm keeping the weight off of the toes and on to the balls and the heel of my feet. And when I come up, right about here, I'll start my pelvic thrust. So I'll squeeze the glutes and straighten out my knees. So I'm one straight line. My butt's not pointed out at all. I'm not pulling or overarching my back. So again, the squat from the side angle will look like this. From the front, when dealing with knee and feet position, since my feet are pointed out, I want my toes, I want my knees to point out a little bit. So it'll look like this. Down. Notice how my knees are going out in line with my toes. Every time. Okay? Those are the basic fundamentals of the squat. And if you noticed at the end, I'll breathe in on the down, and on my way up, I breathe out. Just like that. So those pretty much cover the 7 aspects of the squat and the things that you need to be paying attention to and thinking about as you're performing this exercise.